Ladies and gentlemen, this is Bronco Juggalo, and I am here today to discuss the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022 version. This is another direct follow-up to the original. This will make the 5th direct follow-up to the original. This one is directed by David Blue Garcia and produced by Kim Henkel, one of the creators of the original. A bunch of liberal millennial dumbasses move out to Harlow, Texas, where they encounter and piss off a retired Leatherface. Now, this movie had a $20 million budget, and it had a bunch of production woes, and it went straight to Netflix. Now, I've already done a video talking about my thoughts on the movie before seeing it, so I'm not going to get into all that again. You all know what happened, the test audiences, this and that, the changing of studios, all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to go into all that all over again. So, as a lot of you guys know, I watched this movie last night with my Super Slash Bros for the first time. And then I checked it out again today so that way I could make sure that I got all the bits and pieces I wanted to get to talk about. And I'm just going to jump right into what I liked and what I didn't like about this movie. Before I do that, I want to say something. I think that there's a lot of people out there that are saying either you love this movie or you hate this movie. And that's not necessarily so. It's also really wrong and messed up, in my opinion, to sit there and bash the other people for liking it or not liking it. Now, I'm not talking about friends fucking around. You know, me, Jason, Joe, we fuck around and give each other shit all the time. We're just messing with each other, okay? We love each other. We can do that. I'm talking about people on the fucking internet, which is always the bane of humanity, just being jerks because they like it or the other person doesn't or whatever. And it's just fucked up, in my opinion. As Jason said last night, we're living in a time where we're getting a lot of good horror, and we're blessed as horror fans. This is another one of those movies that is just perfectly good, enjoyable fun. I'm not saying it's a perfect movie. There's a lot of stuff I didn't like about this movie. But if you just go into it with the mindset of let's have some fun, kill some time, and watch some people get killed for an hour and a half, you're going to have fun with it. So I'm going to start there. I'm going to start with my pros. First pro. I loved the kills in this movie. They were fun. They were gory. They were good. My favorite kill is slight kill spoilers here, guys. My favorite kill is probably when he saws this girl in half who's sticking halfway out the bus window, and then she just falls out and all her guts just go everywhere. It was great. Now, there is a lot of digital gore effects in this, and those were kind of iffy. Some of them looked really good, some of them did not. There is also a really great ending on this film. I loved the ending of this film. I loved the way that the film looked for the most part. It was shot extremely well. I did feel like it was kind of missing some of that grittiness that the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise is known for. I heard other people say they thought it was there. I thought it was missing a little bit of that, but that's okay. It's not a big deal. It's not in my opinion, the greatest movie shot in this franchise as far as cinematography, but it was really good. There are a handful of really beautiful shots in this movie. This movie is paced extremely well. You never have a really dull moment in the film. It does go from one thing to the next pretty quickly, and it doesn't give you time to catch your breath always. Now, that can be a bad thing in some cases, but in this case, it's a really good thing. Because, and this is just my opinion, if you stop to think about what you're watching within the confines of the story, this movie is going to lag a bit. Now, some people may disagree with that, and that's totally fine. But that's my assessment. This story has a lot to be desired. There's a lot of holes. There's a lot of things that really don't make sense, plot devices and things like that. But all of those things, as we talked about last night, can be overlooked if you just go in this to have fun. It's not a big deal. It's basically like every other Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. With the exception of maybe with the remake and the prequel to the remake and the prequel Leatherface. There's a lot of holes in all of these films. That's just kind of the way this franchise is. I love that this movie had an anti-cancel culture agenda. I really did like that. That was really good. But it also showed that it had some, thoughts on other things. And those points that they made are not points that were overdone, or they were overplayed, or they were pushed down your throat. They were done well, but they were also done in a way to where you can see the problem with people getting offended by everything, and you can see the problems in our society today, and I did enjoy that a lot. The last thing I want to talk about that I truly lived in this movie was Mark Burnham. Mark Burnham plays Leatherface. I think he did an amazing job. Best job since Andrew Baranarski. I think he did a really good job. He's right up there with Andrew and Gunnar as top Leatherfaces for me. He really did an amazing job. Now, on the flip side of that, this is where I'm going to start my cons and where I know I'm going to probably bug some people. I absolutely hated the look of Leatherface. Not Mark, not what he did, but the way they did the first skin mask when he puts it on and what he's wearing throughout the whole movie. It looks bad. It's so bad. It looks like Butterball from Hellraiser that's saggy more on one side. I did not like it at all. I thought it was a terrible mask. I wish that they would have done some more where he was like compiling masks from different pieces or something. Something a little more graphic, I guess I should say. It just looked silly. I thought that the mask looked so stupid. I did not like it at all. Now, as I said, this is a con that can be overlooked, but it was still something I noticed, and I feel that if I'm going to give a fair review, I'm going to mention it. This movie only makes the timelines more convoluted. There's already 50 fucking timelines in this movie, in this franchise as it is, but this one makes the timeline even more convoluted. Kind of like Texas Chainsaw did. It doesn't exactly mesh, in my opinion. The Leatherface in the original was way older than what they're trying to say that he was in this one to make it fit. And that is kind of an annoyance, but it's whatever. Who cares? It's a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. I don't really have that emotional attachment to this franchise as I do to, say, Halloween. Halloween is my favorite all time. I love it. Texas Chainsaw, it's like, whatever. You know, it's a good movie, but it's not something I am like jumping for joy with. I will say this, I am one of those people that's going to say they took way too much from Halloween 2018. This movie tries to be Halloween 2018, even with the bringing back of Sally. And even with that, they bring Sally back and they don't utilize her right. They don't utilize her well enough. She should have had a much more extended role. They did it right in 2018 with Lori. They don't do it right in this one with Sally. Now, I know some of my friends have different opinions on that, and that's fine too. And I respect their opinions. This is just my opinion. I think that Sally was completely wasted in this movie. They shouldn't have even brought her back because she didn't really do anything or make any difference to the story whatsoever. Guys, that is pretty much it. I will say, I enjoyed this movie a lot because I went into it as a Texas Chainsaw Massacre film, which, as I said, is not one of my favorites, but I like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I just think that it was a fun film, great kills, eat your popcorn, drink your drink, and just watch some carnage. That's what this film is. Is it the best film of the last 20 years? Is it the greatest fucking horror movie ever? Hell no. And personally, I think people that are saying that it is are a little delusional. But that's just, again, my opinion. And if you think it's your favorite, that's one thing. That's fine. But I've seen a lot of people on the internet this morning, especially Twitter, saying this is the greatest movie ever. And then I've seen other people saying it's the worst movie ever. How about we look at these objectively and just kind of see what we like and don't like and just kind of, meet in the middle there instead of fighting with each other and bashing each other? This, honestly, is probably going to be somewhere in the middle of the ranking for me. You'll find out. I'm going to rewatch all the films again and then re-rank them. So I will be doing that probably within the week or a week, maybe, if I can get to all the movies in time. This is Bronco Juggalo saying thank you for watching. It was a blast watching the movie with you guys last night. And if I got a little drunk and crazy, I had a really bad day yesterday, and sorry for that, but I needed to blow off some steam. In other words, sorry, not sorry, I guess. Anyways, peace out, y'all.